Mountain Tough community, welcome to day one of our 11-session series called Spiritually Strong and Morally Tough. We're going to be guiding you to becoming your best version for the next 11 days. I want to introduce myself to you. My name is Jim Ramos. I've been married to my beautiful bride, Shanna, since 1992. I have 3 adult sons. They are, at the time, 30, 28, and 26 years old. And I have a background in sports. I have a college degree, and I love to hunt. I've shot my first buck when I was 11, and my last buck about 2 months ago. So not my last buck, but my last buck to report to you. So I love the outdoors. I'm passionate about hunting. I became a Christian through a near-death experience with a football injury, and I founded a men's organization called Men in the Arena, which is, you can find out more about us at meninthearena.org. We've been doing that for the last 11 years. Before that, I was in full-time ministry. So I've been involved in full-time ministry about 35 years total. And I am really excited to be a part of you. Not only am I teaching you these principles, but I am a mountain tougher myself. I'm in love with this organization and all they've done for me with my diet, with my health, with my strength, with my endurance. If you know anything about Mountain Tough, they really base their organization on 5 pillars: the physical toughness pillar, the mental toughness pillar, the emotional toughness pillar, the nutritional toughness pillar, and then lastly, you may not know this, the spiritual toughness pillar. And so my job is to come in and to bring a spiritual toughness and moral strength element to what we're doing here at Mountain Tough. And so as you dive in to the next 11 weeks, I want to give you some rules. If you can't comply with the rules, I'd rather have you back out today and we're good to go. But once you start this, I want you to commit to it. So here we go. Finish what you start. Even if your worldview is different than mine, there are truths that I'm going to teach you that I believe will be transformative for your life. I'm going to come at this from a Christian worldview, and I just want to say that up front. It will be unapologetic. And if you start this, I want you to finish it with me. I want you to give me your word you're going to do that. Thank you. I heard that. Number 2, I want you to take the next 11 days in a row to do this. No breaks, no day off, no excuses. You're going to start on day 1 today, and you're going to go for the next 11 days. You're going to grind this out. Number 3, do all 10 of the boots on the ground. So today we are not going to give you an assignment. The next 10 sessions will have an assignment. I want you to do each one of those again. No breaks, no excuses. Get them done. The next one here I want to share is this. You will need something to write on, whether the note app on your phone or a physical piece of paper and a pen, whatever it is, you're probably going to need something to write on. And if you have any questions, hit me up at info@meninthearena.org. So one of my favorite movies of all time is a movie that Mel Gibson was in called The Patriot. It's just an epic movie, but there's a scene in that movie that stood out in my mind. In this movie, Mel Gibson's oldest son was captured by the British, and Mel took his 2 youngest sons to ambush this British regiment and take his son back. And as he positioned his youngest sons on the hill, these are little boys. They were like 8 and 10 years old. He gave them their guns. He told them what he was going to do. And his last words were this. He said, "Boys, aim small, miss small." Because you know as a hunter, if you just aim at brown, who knows where you're going to hit. But it's better to pick a tuft of hair, pick a crease in that front shoulder, pick an area that you can really focus on, because if you aim small, you'll miss small. That is what we're doing for the next 11 weeks. We are going to help you dial in to what it looks like to be a man. Here in our culture, how does a guy know when he's a man? How do you know when you've crossed over into manhood? Is it your first fight? Was it when you lost your virginity? Was it the day you got married? Your ability to vote? Drinking your first beer with the old man? Getting your first job? How about your driver's license? Was it fighting for your country? For those of our great veterans, thank you for your service. Was it killing your first buck? Maybe. Better yet, what is a man? Like, what does a man actually look like? Is he rich? Is he famous? Is he a great athlete? Is he a computer programmer? Is he a rugged outdoorsman? Is he an artist or musician? Is he into extreme sports? Is he a pastor? Is he big, tough, and strong? Is he committed husband, a father? Is he Chuck Norris? Maybe. Hey guys, the boogeyman looks for Chuck Norris under his bed. Just thought you'd not like to know that. So where does a man learn about being a man? Is it his father? Is it a respected coach? The movies? Does he YouTube it? Actually, you could YouTube it nowadays. I would probably be the one that it goes to because we're on YouTube. Can he Google it? Maybe he watches The Bachelor, and that's where he finds out what a man is. Or maybe he dives into the fitness, Mountain Tough Fitness Lab app and learns it that way. Either way, I don't know. But here's what I do know. I know this, that when we grow up without godly role models, most men are guessing about what it means to be a man. And here's what I want to share with you about a man. A man is as a man does. Now, you may hear me throughout the next 11 weeks differentiate between a man and a male. Here's what I mean by that. A male and a man are genetically the same, but they are a different species. If you are let's say, a mule deer hunter, you can go out and easily shoot a little fork and horn buck who's running around with his mommy. That's really easy. Or you can hunt for a big, mature buck that's more elusive in nature. Genetically, those are the same animal, but every hunter will agree that that is not the same animal. They are completely different species between the forky and the big, mature muley, magnum muley. And this is what we're talking about with men. Some men are simply males masquerading as men, and we're going to help you to determine what that looks like, where you are, and help you to get on the trajectory to become your best version. So here are 5 misconceptions I learned over the years. I want to share them with you. These are 5 misconceptions we have about what a man is. Misconception 1, I'm chronologically a man. Over my lifetime, I have seen many 60, 70, and 80-year-old men do stupid, childish, immature things. And I have come to determine that it doesn't matter how old you are. Manhood is about action. It's about function over form. I've seen 12-year-olds be more manly than 72-year-olds. Misconception number 2, I'm anatomically a man. Now, forgive me for this early on. You might be offended, but just because you have pubic hair and you can write your name standing up in the snow does not make you a man. Manhood is about function, not form. Males are born, men are made. Misconception 2, I'm legally a man. So because you are of legal age to drive, vote, or enlist in the military does not make you a man. Manhood is seen by your response to these events. It's seen in your actions. And misconception 4, I love this one. You American guys love this. I'm financially a man. Now that's interesting. In Luke chapter 9, Jesus said that he was homeless. He said the Son of Man has no place to lay his head. He lived in somebody's house of his, rent-free probably. He was supported by some key people who followed his ministry. Many of them were women. Jesus is never known in the Bible as being some great carpenter. Actually, we know very little about his job except that he was a carpenter. And misconception 5 is this: I look like a man's man. I look like a man's man. I kill things. I played college football. Listen, I'm telling you right now that just because you look like a man's man makes no difference whether you are a man. I'm going to tell you a funny story. A couple years ago, my ministry hosted what we call a death ruck. It was a 50-mile ruck. We did it in 36 hours. And it was 7,500 feet of gain. I did the hunt with my middle son, Darby. The final 5 miles was about 85-degree weather. It was in the middle of summer. And we got to the truck. We were exhausted. My son came to me and said, Dad, you need to call Mom. She was super emotional because she just ran a stoplight and she got T-boned and ruined her car. And she's really emotional. She wants you to call her. So I got on the phone. I called my wife. I got home as fast as I could after doing a 7,500 foot of elevation gain, 50-mile death ruck in 36 hours. For the next 2 hours, I rubbed her feet. So what's more manly, that I did this death ruck with 50 miles or I went home and rubbed the feet of my bride for 2 hours because she was so broken over a car wreck? Well, you know what? I'm going to take the latter over the former. So just because you look like a man's man does not mean you are one. So we built a definition of manhood that's found in my book, Strong Men, Dangerous Times. And that definition of manhood, we wanted it to be true across the board. So it had to transcend several things for us to be true in our statement, teaching men what a man really is. So number 1, it had to cross the boundaries of ethnicity. Manhood, the essence of manhood, must carry its truth to all regions of the world and not just America. And so that's very important. And our ministry last year alone reached 168 different nations. So we have to be really careful that this truth that we're trying to put out there transcends ethnicity. It also needs to transcend time. This definition of manhood should have been the same 4,000 years ago as it was 2,000 years ago as it is today. It must transcend demographics. It shouldn't matter what economic status that you have. Manhood must transcend how much money we have, how involved we are in our political views and where we live and this type of thing. And fourth, it has to transcend geography. So it needs the man who was born from Missoula, it needs to be the same for the man who's in Massachusetts. The man who is in Bozeman, it needs to be the same for the man who's in Boston. The man in Canada, it needs to be the same for the man who's in Cape Town. It has to transcend our own geography. And this is going to be a shocker to you because I am a passionate follower of Jesus, it has to transcend religion. I am sold out for the Lord, but here's what I'm concerned about. I'm concerned that a lot of times we put things in these little compartments and they aren't necessarily true. So if we're going to put manhood into a compartment, it has to transcend all of these things, including religion. So if you hang on, I'll articulate this and explain it later down the road. But this mountain of manhood is very simple. We're going to climb a mountain for the next 11 days. We're going to start at the trailhead, and that is protecting integrity. Notice the progressive tense of the verb. As we climb the mountain, this is the greatest battle you will ever fight and the most resistance you'll ever have to overcome. It's called fighting apathy. We will summit the mountain at pursuing God passionately. We will descend the mountain, teaching you how to lead people courageously. And we're going to come to the end of the trail, and we're going to help you and give you some great tools to finish your life strong. Putting them all together, manhood is simply protecting integrity, fighting apathy, pursuing God passionately, leading courageously, and finishing strong. We will break these 5 essentials to manhood into 2 blocks each. So 2 blocks on integrity, apathy, all the way through. And so here are your boots on the ground, guys. Here's what I want you to do. Very simple. I'm asking you to carve out 30 minutes a day for the next 10 days following and grind this out. And if you want to know more on this topic, you can check out my book, Strong Men, Dangerous Times. You can check out our free resources at meninthearena.org. We've got a free book that's really funny called The Man Card, 101 Ways to Get Your Man Card Revoked and Rules to Live By. And guys, I'm excited to work with you for the next 10 days following, helping you become spiritually stronger, morally tougher, and becoming your best version. God bless. We'll see you tomorrow.